Hey everybody, it's your girl Char, the super chick. Guess what day it is? That's right, it's hump day and it's right around 7 p.m. It's time to relax, chill, and unwind with your girl Char, the super chick, on the evening wind down.
They say good things come to those who wait. The wait is over.
It's the 11th annual Black Tie Affair.
The Masquerade Edition.
I want to see my dogs on the mountaintops.
Oh, we're back for the new year.
On Saturday, January 7th, 2023.
With DJ Young Chow.
Nashville, Tennessee, it's your boy DJ Young Chow, Hot 97. It's all about the 11th annual Black Tie Affair. I'm bringing the bottles, I'm bringing the girls. It's gonna be so crazy.
Alongside DJ Gemini, DJ YB, and DJ Jenna. Ladies, be as sexy as you want to be.
The 11th annual Black Tie Affair.
Masquerade Edition. Saturday, January 7th at Nashville Events. A night in Mysteryland. Located at 897 Elm Hill Pike.
Pre-sold tickets only $30. Couples $50.
Contact 615-378-8885.
The 11th annual Black Tie Affair. Masquerade Edition.
See, this is the part when you have them cutting the grass and cooking the breakfast in the morning and all that good stuff, y'all. Hey, it's your girl, Char, the Super Chick. You guys are tuned in to the Evening Wind Down with your girl, Char, the Super Chick. You like that track? Get at me. It's yours truly. It's called Put It On Me. It was produced by Maine. He's out of Michigan. We call him Maney, but some people call him Maine. But I had a lot of fun making that track. And when I perform, that's my number one performance song. So anyway, if you guys like the song, just get at me. Inbox me on Facebook, Instagram. Actually, you can inbox me on Spotify. You can message me on any platform that I'm on. Message me on Spreaker. Actually, speaking of Spreaker, make sure that you guys are tuned into the show tonight. Make sure that you're commenting. And I just want to know what you think. So we are counting down to Christmas. It's that time of the year. I hope everybody has already done their Christmas shopping. I know I got out early this year and did Christmas shopping. Normally, I'm last minute, last day trying to figure out what I'm going to do. But this year, I got up day after Thanksgiving. And I know people was cracking jokes on people that had their lights up and all that good stuff. But I had my Christmas tree up. I had my decorations up. And Cliff and I were in the store. Like, we were literally getting our Christmas items out of the way. So I got ahead of the game this time. So I have a few more things, but for the most part, I have it all. Hopefully you guys are wrapping up Christmas too. Meet me there at the party, the Masquerade Ball. This is the 11th annual Masquerade Ball, January the 7th. If you guys are really enjoying the show, get out, come and meet me. I got t-shirts for you all. We're going to do a live broadcast. So make sure that you all are at the Masquerade. And ladies, we're going to have a good time. So make sure you got your sexy on. Fellas, I know you're going to be looking to have a near. Let's just all get out, have a safe, fun time to bring in the new year the right way at the 11th annual Masquerade Ball here in Nashville, Tennessee. So the link will be in the comments where you can get your tickets or you can get, info, all that good stuff. So just make sure that you guys are in the building. I know I get a lot of messages from people that want to meet me. So, hey, now's the perfect time. I will be there live in effect. All right, y'all. Today's topic comes, with a lot of heartfelt sentiment when I speak about it. And I know I've been seeing a lot of suicide. It's running rampant. And I just want to speak about it. Now, it's so scary because when you think back to some of the worst moments in your life, I know I've been in a position to where I've thought that, hey, you know what? I don't see another way out, or either I don't want to deal with the situation, and I found myself facing life or death. I'm not proud to say that I've been there before, but it was a very depressed time in my life. And I can remember it like it was yesterday, talking to myself, and I'm like, yo, something's got to give. Fear, depression, doubt, everything floating at the same time in your mind, and it's just like a big whirlwind of emotions. It's just like a big ball. It could be something that you've been dealing with for a very long time, and you sit yourself down and you say, self, we got an easy way out. The easy way would be for me to commit suicide, and that was me. I'm talking about me. Being in the situation that I was in, I had two options. I was going to choose the wrong thing, commit suicide, or choose the wrong thing, do some illegal stuff. And so I found myself trapped between a rock and a hard place. And at that moment, I could just remember praying to God for strength and an answer, and just praying over and over and over and over and over. God, give me a sign, show me what to do. I don't want to leave my children either way. I don't want to leave the burden on them of knowing that this happened to me, or me doing something illegal and going the total way. So I was really, really trapped, and thinking like my kids were number one on the top of my head. At that point, myself was kind of like, I'm torn, I'm tired, I'm raggedy, I see no way out. But what about my children? And I had to really think about the effect that would leave on my children. Did I want someone else raising my children? No. Did I want my children being affected, by what I've done? No, I didn't. When I speak of fear puts you in a lot of different places in your life. Fear can keep you in a situation that you know darn well you have no business being in. But you don't really want to start over sometimes. You don't want to. And that's where the job, the home, the moving situation, the relationship situation, it's all the fear of starting over. I don't want to deal with it. When you're in relationships, you may lose the one you love to somebody else, and your mind is like, ugh, I don't want to think about that. I can't bear to think about seeing him or her with somebody else. I don't know what I would do. I would lose my mind. I would this, I would that. And just the thought of never being with that person again sometimes can push you to a brink of a place you know you shouldn't be. With me, December's a hard month for me. I lost my father last year, December the 3rd, but he wasn't found until days later. But my Christmas was preparing for my father's funeral, trying to see how to get money first and foremost, because insurances had collapsed. And I had to put my big girl pants on, and I had to do what I had to do for my dad, which was also my best friend. It wasn't a day that went by that we did not talk. We talked about everything. And the irony of it all is because I really didn't meet my father till I was about 16 years old. I knew of him, but I had never met him. If I did, I didn't remember him. I was too little to remember him. And he had got in some trouble and was incarcerated for a substantial amount of time. So that kind of put a wedge in it as well. But I would always think like, wow, what does my father look like? I would see men in the store and be like, I wonder if my dad looks like him, or shoot, sometimes I wonder if that's my dad. As a little girl, I had these questions of my father. What does he look like? What does he act like? What is he going to be like? How am I going to act when I first meet him, when I first see him? I had all these crazy thoughts. And then I met my father for the first time at 16. Now, at 16, I was pregnant. I was getting ready to be a mother. I was getting ready to marry my children's father. I had a lot going on. At 16, I was a grown woman. But, I was still longing to know who my father was. And when I met him, it was like we clicked from day one. I was never any resentment of, not from me. Now, my mom, she can say a few choice words. But for me, it was kind of like, wow, I have my dad, And he moved in with me shortly after, lived with me for a number of years. And we became best friends. And so December is hard for me because, I lost my best friend. And even though I no longer have him, I keep him. I talk to him every day, but I keep him in my heart. But December is hard for me. So in times like this, the fear, the thought of losing a loved one can push you to the brink. I hear a lot of people say, I can't believe they would do this, they would do that. You really never can say never until you're in a position. But instead of saying never, say never. What we need to start saying is, I hope and pray that I have the strength, that I would not make that choice. Give me strength to hold on. And I know a lot of people aren't spiritual, and it's a lot of people that don't believe, in higher beings and things of that nature. But I am a God-fearing woman, and I do believe that, through Jesus Christ, all things can happen. So for me, when I was at my lowest point, I couldn't call on my friends. You know, you're embarrassed to talk to people about what you got going on. People will give you all different type of scenarios. People will say, girl, you crazy, girl. I would do this, girl. I would do. So, you know, you get trapped in a position that you have no one to talk to, but you have to lean on him. So with me, it was more so I'm leaning on Jesus Christ. I'm asking God to get me out of this situation, because if it's so bad that you're willing to end it all just for peace of mind, and you don't even know what's going to happen in the end, you know what I'm saying? But you're willing to take that chance. I had nobody but God to turn to. At that time, you know, people of color, we didn't believe in going to psychiatrists and telling someone our business and all this good stuff. We don't, you know, we just don't do that. In our race, in our community, we keep stuff in the house. You know, we got a saying, what goes on in the house stays in the house. So at that time, therapy wasn't even an option. I probably couldn't afford it. You know, I was young and we had just purchased a home. It was a lot of stuff going on. But we just didn't believe in dishing out our business, you know, to doctors and psychiatrists. And then the first thing that clicks into, oh my God, if they think you crazy, they're going to take your kids. So, you know, that also keeps you from going and sitting down, getting counseling, because, hey, we have so many check marks against us. They're going to think you crazy. They're going to take your kids. You're not supposed to talk outside the house. You're not supposed to tell your business. And so I didn't have a psychiatrist. It wasn't one of those things. And so now when I think about the young generation of the younger children that have committed suicide due to bullying and the everyday things that they face. And I know when I was growing up, you know, it's a saying that we tell kids, like, you getting on my nerves. Oh, I'm stressed. The first thing your mama gonna say, your ass too young to be stressed out. You don't know the first thing about being stressed out. You ain't got no nerves. But think about it. Our young children go through a whole lot at school, from peer pressure, bullying, the embarrassment of maybe not being smarter than the next person. You know, I'm not hip. I'm not keeping up with this generation. I'm not keeping up with my classmates, per se. So we got to stop telling our kids that they don't have nerves and they don't have no reason to be stressed because they ain't paying rent. But they do really have reasons to be stressed. And what we need to do as parents and as peers is, when a child tells you that, sit them down and say, hey, let's talk about it. Let me know what's going on, because you would be amazed. And I'm not a psychiatrist, you know what I'm saying? But I do have a lot of grandkids. I'm just going to keep it real. And I was a young mother. At 16, 17, I was learning. You know what I'm saying? I got married right at the legal age to be married. And I was married for umpteen years. So, you know, I've raised some children. So sometimes it takes us to sit down and say, hey, what's going on? Let me talk to you. And listen. We got to listen too. You know, I made the mistake of thinking, I'm mama, I know I'm right. What I say goes, no matter what you say, it is what it is. You ain't paying no bills. You ain't cooking. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? That was my mistake as a young mother. To now, sometimes you got to listen. Don't be so quick to just shut a child down. You a kid. You ain't got no business. We got to start listening to our youth. We got to start listening to our children. It comes to a point in life that, man, life is just so crazy now. You know, it's so much pressure with everything, with your jobs. You know, the economy is rising. People are trying to figure out how to get gas, how to get food, how to get to work. You know what I'm saying? You go to work one day and, God forbid, let me knock on wood, you know what I'm saying? You've been at your job for years. You've established your whole life around this job. You know, do you think that for 1 minute they're going to say, we're going to wait 3-4 months before we're going to tell this person, hey, we're going to let you go in 3 months. So you better start getting your ducks in a row now. You better start saving, because in 90 days, you're out of here. No, it doesn't go that way. I mean, it's proven fact that when a company is ready to let you go, they let you go. Not to mention that, hey, I'm driving an $80,000 car. I'm living in a $400,000 house because, hey, I've been making all this amount of money all these years. Boom. Unemployment is 200 and something bucks. Now, Michigan is a little higher because I'm from Michigan. But now, here in the South, unemployment is like $200 a week. There's no way you can't even buy gas and food off of $217 a week. So now I have more pressure. Now I have more stress. Oh my God, how am I going to feed my family? How am I going to make it, So when you see people that may be struggling or going through, it only takes 5 minutes to say, hey, brother. Hey, sis, you good? What's up? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when people are going through traumatic situations, they need to know that they got somebody to lean on. They need to know that life isn't perfect for us either, Just because you see us rolling, you see us taking trips, you see us, moving on up a little bit. Life isn't perfect for us either, but we got each other. We may not be on the same level financial-wise. We may not be as happy as you are in your marriage. You know what I'm saying? My man may be beating and cheating, and I may be beating and cheating. I mean, you never know. But I'm going to reach out to you, and I'm just going to say, hey, sis, I got you. I might have one Twinkie, but we going to split that Twinkie if you need it. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Be a listening ear. How can I help you? How can we figure this out? Let's get together. I got, XYZ friends that may be doing this, and maybe I can plug you with somebody. Maybe I can show you a different way, lift their spirits. I say this all the time. When's the last time you told people that you love them? When's the last time you just thought about something that your mate, friend, brother, sister, child may be doing, and give them a little recognition without you even, being right there? You see what I'm saying? It's all about uplifting, paying attention, listening. When you see a person is down at their lowest, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, let's hang out. I got you. Come through. What you want to do. But my dad, and a lot of people know, and a lot of people don't because I really don't talk about it. My dad suffered from schizophrenia. And it took me cleaning out his house after he passed, because when we got the call that he passed away, I was on the highway. I'm 600 miles away. I was in Michigan by daybreak that morning. You see what I'm saying? Because that was my heart. But my son, my oldest son, he went with me. It was dead of winter. We made it down. The next day, I had to stay in Michigan for a while because I had to get Daddy's affairs in order. And it took me cleaning his house, going through, and I'm not even going to say cleaning because Dad had OCD, but I mean going through his things, looking for his insurance policy and packing up stuff, to just know how sick my father was. And it broke my heart. And I think the thought of him being schizophrenic and it crossed my mind, because at the time they didn't know how he passed. The autopsy hadn't came back, and I kept saying, well, I wonder if Daddy committed suicide, because Daddy heard a lot of voices, He would always call me and say, they talking to me and this and that, and now I feel bad because a lot of times I brushed it off and I say, Daddy, you just tripping again. You taking your medicine, But I always encouraged him, Daddy, you need to go to the doctor, and you need to, tell the doctors what's going on. And he took medication, and I would say, Daddy, if you think somebody's bothering you, go to the office. Encourage them. Daddy called me. I call my daddy every day. It's not a day we didn't talk on the phone. But I listened to him. Every time he would say that he would hear things. Somebody tried to do something to him. XYZ. I would listen to him. And then I say, Daddy, you sure? I always asked him if he was sure. And he said, I know I'm sure, and I'm sure. And, granted, I may hang up the phone and I may tell Cliff, And we'll laugh about it. And I'm like, Daddy is over there tripping out, but I didn't do that to him. I would tell Daddy, Daddy, maybe you should talk to the doctor, or maybe you should check it out, or I'm going to come down there if you need me to come down there. But I never knew just how this illness had taken over Dad until going through his things, and Daddy had a tape recorder. And he had it taped up, and my father, when I tell you, he was one of those types of people. He didn't throw anything away. He would shred it. He would rip it up and put it in a bag and keep it. And in your mind, you get what I'm saying? I don't know what happened. I just remember going through everything, and I seen this tape recorder. He had his bank card, taped up in one area of the house. He had his ID taped up in one area of the house. I got all this stuff going through my mind, like, did something happen? Did somebody break in? Did he harm himself because of the voices? He hid his wallet. He hid this. He hid that. I knew nothing about the illness until not about the illness, but I didn't know the symptoms of the illness until I got to see it firsthand. And it broke my heart just to know that my father struggled every day of his life. That tape recorder had years and years and years and years and years. And I have it in my safe, but I listened to maybe 3 days of it, and I couldn't listen anymore because it broke my heart that he was suffering so bad. And we didn't know it. He never expressed the way he felt. We would, we talked every day. He would tell me certain things about how, people was picking with him, and he got in trouble one time for harming somebody because he thought that person was trying to pick with him, and it wasn't. It was a mind thing. But until I got the tape recorder, and Daddy recorded himself every night. Now, he didn't commit suicide. According to the autopsy, he had diabetes, which we knew nothing about, and he had high cholesterol. So it was a peaceful passing, but it broke my heart. And so December is really hard for me. Death is really hard for me. And sometimes in my head, I just want to scream, and I just want to holler, and I just want to yell. And then that thought of, what if something happens to me, crosses my mind. And so then I'm planning. I'm saying, hey, babe, you need to know this. You need to know that. Now I'm living my life as if, which, you never know. But guess what? Now this is taking over. The fear is taking over. You get where I'm going? And so now I'm saying, babe, do you even know where to pay the mortgage to? Do you even know where to pay that to? And I'm like, hey, blah, 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 blah. No, you get what I'm saying? Because now depression starts to dwindle its way in your mind. And I'm telling you, if you're not a very strong-minded person, it can trap you, it can keep you, and it can take over. So, I work, I get up every morning, I'm pushing forward, I'm thinking of the positivity in every day. But December is hard for me. And it's easy for somebody to fall off the edge. It's easy for someone to say, you know what, I don't want to do it no more. I'm over it. I'm done. So it's not as hard as people think. Unless you're just a very, very, very strong-minded person, and you can overcome your fears and overcome the doubt and but fear is number one. Fear keeps you in a lot of places. Fear can shake up your whole atmosphere. I think about it. Daddy, he wouldn't say his address over the phone. He wouldn't really go anywhere unless it was to the store. Fear had taken over. He didn't live his life to the fullest potential. And that breaks my heart too, because of the fear. The mental status kept the fear there. There was no, let me send this and let me send that. Nothing's coming through the mail. Nothing. I can say, Daddy, what's your address? I'm not giving you my address over the phone. I'm like, seriously, Dad, what's your, and we would go back and forth. And it's, Dad, when you coming to see me? Dad, when we gonna, let's do something. You should come and live with me. I tried to get him to live with me forever, but the fear of someone knowing his information, of someone, he just wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. So when I think back to my time when I was really going through a lot of stuff that I was going through, it was very, very, very hard for me. And now I think about it, that now that I'm older and I'm wiser, and what I did was I went and I've always wanted to know about hypnotherapy. And so I was talking to my sister and I was like, yo, I got to do something different. I got to do something. And I reached out to a good friend of mine. Her name is CC Brown. She's a hypnotherapist. And I reached out to her and I was like, yo, I know I ain't never came up to talk to you on a serious tip, but I need to be real serious with you now. I got some issues going on and it's mental, and I was really bad off. I mean, real bad. And so I was a little nervous. I did it and I was a little scared, but we did it anyway. The first session, wow, it brought things out of me that I didn't know was in me. Second session, same. Third, I've only did 3 sessions with her, but it was a life changer. It was a life changer. And I will tell each and every one of you guys, if you're struggling in any type of way, please see a therapist. Talk to somebody. Don't hold it in. Don't try to do it on your own. Especially if you're already dealing with life issues, especially if you have a lot going on or whatever. But it's okay. It's okay to seek help. It's okay to speak to somebody. It's not that they're in your business. And I want to tell you, you have to be completely transparent. When you sit down with your therapist or your hypnotherapist or whoever, you have to be 100% true to yourself and 100% transparent if you really want to be better. You can't go all up in there saying, oh, I'm embarrassed to say this or I'm embarrassed to say that or XYZ. No. You got to be real with yourself. You got to be real with your therapist and relax and breathe. And it helped me. So if you're on the brink of feeling like you have nowhere to turn, nowhere to go, I encourage you to call the suicide prevention line. I encourage you to don't be afraid. I encourage you to speak to your peers, speak to your friends. I 100% wholly ask and beg of you to seek counseling. When I tell y'all, I was in a very, very, very bad place. And I still struggle sometimes because, after losing my grandparents and my father, the fear of what am I going to do if something happens to my children, my grandchildren, my best friends, my husband, my love, whatever, the fear, it's all fear and it keeps you in a bad place. When in reality, we know that one day it's going to happen, But in your mind, are you strong enough to deal with something like that? If somebody gets hurt, your grandchildren get hurt, or anything, all these mass shootings. Let me tell you, life is so much stress going on in life. You don't know if you're going to go to the grocery store and somebody just starts shooting, or you're pumping gas and somebody just going to rob. All types of crazy stuff are on our minds. So you need to deflect and exhale. And you need to speak to somebody. It's a good thing. You get some people, I don't go nowhere, I don't do nothing. People too crazy. Now you've let the fear take over your life when you still have to live your life. But I encourage you guys, if you're in a situation that is too much for you to bear, or you even have to think about committing suicide. Now, I lost an aunt to suicide at an early age. Didn't know much about it, but it's some things that you never forget. Because not only have you harmed yourself, but you're leaving your loved ones behind. to wonder and to guess and to say, wow, I didn't have time to do this with them. And was it something that I did? Was it something that we could have done different? And people never heal from that. So that's something else to think about. Even when you're thinking about going out doing a crazy crime, it's fast, it's easy, it's money, it's whatever. But have you thought about the people that you may affect in the process of harming someone, injuring somebody, or even your family member, your children, your mom? Everybody's on such a, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Stop to think sometimes, you know what I'm saying, before you go out and do something crazy, and then now you've torn up two families, your family and the family of the person that you possibly injured or whatever, robbed or whatever. Anything you do to a person stays on their mind. So, we've been talking love and peace for years, and a change is going to come. At what point are we really going to start loving life enough to not take another life from another human being? Not to take your own life. I encourage you all that if you're in a situation or if you're struggling with anything, reach out to somebody. If you don't have the funds to seek counsel, reach out to somebody. Diaries never worked for me. I just wrote a bunch of blah, 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 blah stuff. They work for some people, but they didn't work for me. I'm the type of person, I want you to tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong, or if I need help or whatever. I can't do that if I'm writing in a book. So I need you to tell me, yeah, Char, you tripping, but I got you. Sometimes it's really all it takes is, I got you. And I talk to Cliff all the time, and I tell him, I said, babe, you are so strong. You are, he really motivates me, and we can be talking about something, and he's like, yeah, don't trip on it. And I'm like, how are you just so calm? Or whatever, and I guess he stores it in a different way, but it helps me to be like, wow, I have this great guy. He's strong, he's motivational, and he's just like, babe, you're tripping. Don't worry about it. It's going to be all right. But I also talk a lot of crap to him too. Babe, you ain't going to believe this, blah, 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 blah. And he right there yep. I'm like, you ain't even listening. You're just saying, yeah. But anyway, I had to throw that in there. Y'all, this is my time. I want to wish you all a Merry, Merry Christmas. If you know anybody that's struggling, that may be going through, don't judge. Don't point the finger. Instead of judging and pointing the finger, pick up the phone. Nowadays, go by. Go by and sit with them. Invite them out. And, we do it all the time. Hey, you want to do brunch? Hey, you want to go out to eat? You want to go to movies? And if you're a person that's going through something, you need to dig deep down inside of you. Deep down, and it's hard. It's so hard to do. And instead of everything being so negative every time you talk, look at the beauty and the joy around you. Think about your family. Think about your children. Think about every day you're up, you get to stand up on 2 feet, walk around. You may not have the best house, you may not have the best job, but you have breath in your body. The wisdom to speak, the wisdom to think. And I tell this to my kids all the time. I said, you know what? Today's a good day. You got another day to get it right. You may not have $1 in your pocket, but it's a great day because guess what? You got another chance and another time to get it right. And stop judging folks. Sometimes it's just about listening. You ain't got to say nothing back. We all won't put our 2 cents in. Especially me, I'm an over talker. You know what I'm saying? But I listen. And sometimes people just need you to listen to them. If you or anybody that you know may be going through a crisis, the number to call is 1-800-273-8255. Again, that's 800-273-8255. My final thought of the day: pay attention to the children, pay attention to the youth, pay attention to the people around you. Don't be afraid to say, hey, what's up? Can I help you? I got you. Don't be afraid to listen. Don't be afraid to direct them in the right direction on where they need to be. Don't be afraid to go with them if that's what it takes. That's my time, y'all. It's your girl, Char, the super chick, on the evening wind down. And Merry Christmas to you all, because I know I won't be back before Christmas on air, but I do hope to see you January 7th.
Is this how you want me to?
He has no right to put you down.
You are a liar.
But he loves me. He puts down your friends, family, your job.
Shut your mouth.
Bet he's asking where you are again. I better text him back. Otherwise he might get mad, right?
I wanted to surprise you.
Not sure he's safe? Talk to someone who can help.